This week felt loud. It seems like every week does now. Not because something historic happens or did happen, just loud in a way that things feel loud now. Something happens, and within minutes, everyone knows what it means. People react fast. People explain themselves very fast. Nobody seems willing to sit with anything long enough to actually understand it. I was thinking about how many times in my own life I almost reacted immediately. I almost sent the text. I almost made the call. I almost said something just to get it off my chest. And looking back, I'm glad I didn't. Every time I pause, instead of reacting, I end up making a decision that is better. Not because I was smarter in the moment, but because I wasn't finished thinking. I wasn't finished understanding what happened. Silence saved me from making decisions I would have regretted. That's what I want to talk about. And of course, I've also never been one to hold back, but the silence and taking a pause is important because reacting feels productive. You feel involved. You feel like you're doing something. You feel like you're protecting yourself. Pausing feels uncomfortable. You don't get that immediate relief. You don't get that validation for saying what you want. You don't get that feel right yet. I've been in situations where reacting felt justified. I felt misunderstood. I felt pressured to respond so I wouldn't look weak or unsure. Instead, I waited, sometimes a day, sometimes longer. And almost every time something changed, new information showed up, emotions cooled off. The most important, what I felt urgent stopped feeling urgent. If I had reacted right away, I would have kind of locked myself into the wrong move. Silence didn't delay the decision, it improved it. And that's important. Some other examples of this just tying in is like Frank Ocean hasn't released an album since 2016. That's almost 9 years. This shows the importance of his career, shows the importance of silence in today's world. Since 2016 is it seems like a lifetime. No constant updates from Frank Ocean, no press cycles, no reassurance to fans about what's coming next, and yet Blonde is still talked about like one of the most important albums of the decade. That gap didn't erase his influence, it protected it, it boosted it. Silence became part of how his work was valued, and that matters. A lot of people feel like they owe explanations constantly. They feel pressure to stay visible, so the story doesn't get written without them. Sometimes that's true. A lot of times it's not. Silence filters things out. It shows who respects direction versus who just wants access. That's important. Another example is like Kawhi Leonard. He's known for barely talking. He doesn't explain injuries and details. He doesn't manage fan emotions. He doesn't defend himself publicly. Since joining the Clippers in 2019, he's played in roughly half of their possible games due to injury and load management. People get frustrated with that, but he doesn't chase approval. He's comfortable being misunderstood. That's rare. A lot of people talk themselves into exhaustion because they can't sit with that feeling. They think explaining themselves will bring control, and it doesn't. I've had moments where I wanted to clarify something immediately to make sure people knew my intent. And I'm glad I didn't because later when things settled, the truth was clear without me saying anything. Silence let reality catch up. And another example is like Jay-Z. Jay-Z didn't spend the later part of his career arguing relevance. He didn't debate rankings. He didn't explain pivots. He moved quietly into ownership, into influence and leverage. That shift wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. A lot of people want to stay visible. Very few want to build something that doesn't need explanation. There's always pressure to always be on, to always be in the conversation. But stepping back can look like disappearance to the public. But sometimes it's actually progress. Silence creates space, and then space can lead to better decisions. And this isn't just about famous people, obviously. You see it in regular life all the time. Like myself, former athletes who still talk like life peaked years ago, people who never let go of old identities, people who react instead of reflect. They don't grow because they never pause long enough to change. Silence would force them to sit down with discomfort, with the idea that something ended, going back to my last episode on the fall off, with the reality that growth requires letting go. I've had to do that myself, letting go of versions of myself that worked once but didn't anymore, pausing instead of forcing things forward. That pause was uncomfortable, but it led to better outcomes. So, in my opinion, silence isn't weakness, it's judgment. It's your own judgment. It allows for you to make judgment. It's understanding that timing matters, that emotion distorts decisions, that clarity usually shows up after the noise dies down. And not everything needs a response. Some things just need space, some things need time. I'm grateful for moments that I paused, for the decisions that I didn't rush, for the reactions that I resisted. Silence didn't hold me back. I feel like silence protected me.